Welcome to ICT Friday's class, week 1. Alright, well, this week I hope everybody kinda settle down with classes, kinda still hectic with I know, like a first week of class, you don't know what classes to change and all that stuff. Okay, so let me just quickly remind you a couple of things. I posted couple of things that I'm trying new, which is the attendance, the participation points, that you need to take a look at this. So there's 5% participation, which you need to ask me questions during the semester, and I put a category for participation so that you can look it up and see if you have received the credit or not. So you can take a look at it. I'll list all the student names here. So another thing is I'll be updating that list as we go along. Another thing is okay, make sure you watch the videos. I had an email from I had a message from the one student, cannot find my lectures, and I know this like in the beginning of the semester these things happen, so by next week everybody should know what to do. But anyway, make sure you watch the videos, not like a couple weeks later. You need to watch it before the next class. Okay, that's as I told you that I take attendance automatically using the CTL. Okay, those things are important. And last time I told you that it's really a broad terminology. Okay, the ICT is somewhat related to IT, the concept IT. We talked about the convergence, which is the coming together. Okay, like a people convergence. What do we mean by converge? Kind of related technology, kind of linking together. That's what like a communication part, information part, even the people, processes coming together. That's where the term ICT comes from. Okay, and that's probably about it. Just it says it's evolving, it's constantly changing right here. Okay, that's probably so the term is constantly evolving. Okay, so it can cover like a different even different technologies. Alright, even people. Somewhere around here there should be people. Alright, now let's take a look at the information systems. So information systems is kind of a little bit related, but kind of we are talking about in this case systems instead of just term technology. Okay, so let's take a look at information systems. So these are some of the concepts that you should know. So we know about the computer. Well, it is a kind of very similar term, computer information system, or just the information system. Okay, it's a system that specifically references information and complementary networks of hardware, software that people use. So it's really, we are talking about the study of systems. Okay, information systems is a study of systems. All right, so that may include components such as software, people, and organization, blah blah blah. Okay, so it's kind of similar term to ICT. As you can see, information system is ICT, so very similar term. All right. Overview. Okay, there when you talk about systems, there are a lot of related systems. Here are some related systems. Decision support system. They are dedicated. They are slightly different. Just information systems, we're talking about all these different types of systems. Okay. This talks about the components like the hardware, software, data, procedures, people. I told you about people. All right. This one talks about the hierarchy. Okay. These are the people who are involved with the system. It's really, this is from the business perspective. Usually when we talk about systems, yeah, like it's related to systems. If we just say information systems, usually toward the business, but not necessarily. But a lot of business, people, when they say information systems. And yeah, like a decision support system, that's kind of business related. All these are kind of business stuff. In fact, MIS, that's another term. Business. Okay. So ICT deals with the systems too. As a part of, you can say, ICT, it includes the systems. So anyway, now what do we mean by these are the components? You can say these are the components. What do we mean by device? Device is another, like a component, but it's like a hardware component, right? That's usually not computers, but computers, you can a computer can be a device too. It's an hardware, any type of like a kind of hardware, like it can be a phone, whatever. It can be small, it can be big, as kind of device. It has some functions and it does something. You don't have to know this term, conduit. It just talks about the connection. The word conduit means a connection. Okay, I'm gonna skip that word. Literacy. Literacy is, the information literacy. The term literacy means kind of like an understanding, Literate meaning you are kind of, the stuff. So literacy, really knowing things. Okay, just kind of general terminology. That's about it, Okay, so kind of ICT literacy, meaning just kind of knowing what the ICT is all about, technical aspect of it. Different hardware, maybe different computer technologies, blah blah blah. Okay, so although we do like some technical stuff, the part of the objective of this course is cover some of those kind of basic things, basic knowledge about the emerging technologies, or the hardware and different hardware, software, all those components that go into the information systems and ICT. Okay, let's talk about the numbers. So why do we have to know the numbers? Well, because we want to go back to middle school? No, that's not our idea. Well, the reason we have to know the numbers, number one, the computers use numbers. That's one reason. So numbers are that's important. As you can see, bits and bytes. So computers use the numbers. So we have to know what the computers do. So that's reason why we have to know the numbers. Another reason, there are a couple of reasons, Another reason is a lot of measurements, technology measurements, speed, and all those things. They deal with the numbers. That's another reason. There are lots of other good reasons we have to know the numbers. What do I mean by numbers? Well, numbers is just one type of representation. We know the numbers, so like we're used to know decimal number, but there are different types of units, and not only that, there are different types of numbers, like a binary number and which computer uses and all that stuff. So it gets a little bit more technical, but we should know. Okay. So bits and bytes, binary numbers, and representation of information. Actually, this is a very good introduction for, like I said, non-engineers. Okay, so what's a bit? So let's get it. I don't know if this explains the bits, but bits are simply like individual, like zeros and ones, which that's a binary number. But bits is individual, just kind of like a one cell. You can have one coin, you can have a zeros and one, just one. Very bit is just one. Not just one, but one kind of like a basic unit, which can be 0 and 1. That's a 1 bit. Byte is 8 of these. 8 bits equal to 1 byte. Okay. Now, a lot of times we say we use a big B. Alright, big B. Big letter for byte. Or you can write down bytes, but 1 byte equals to 8 bits, which you should know. Okay. Alright, representation of information. Okay, so computers, that's how computers represent. Actually, I wouldn't call it the information, or maybe we should call it the data. Yeah, I guess we can say information. That's how computers represent information, zeros and ones. Because in our field, library information science, information can be many things. So yeah, in this sense, is a computer sense, yes, we can say information. That's how computers represent zeros and ones, as they you know, that's all it can do. Zeros and one, deal with the zeros and ones. Okay, so the reason another term we use for zeros and ones is digital, right? Digital information, because computers can process digital. Digital means zeros and ones, or binary number. Okay, which is you can use zeros and ones. And the opposite term is analog. Analog is not zeros and ones. And analog, that means actually analog is like a waves. Okay, now digital zeros and ones. Now we can convert from one type of information to another.